Lonely Attack on the Different World, web novel, chapter 85. Humans are fragile, so going unprotected is very dangerous. Day 34, Faraway Labyrinth, 64th floor. After gathering all of the magic stones on the 64th floor, we promptly head to the 63rd floor. Coming next are Reflect Metal Slugs, level 63, snails. In this case, there's no need to even think about countermeasures. By the way, the shock I received after peeking full of excitement through the opened hole just to see a snail body was surprisingly great. I hate this dungeon. All of those snails have Magic Reflect, Physical Reflect, Destroy Weapon, Dissolve, Biting, and Absolute Defense. Of course, I'm going to scatter salt. How the hell are you supposed to beat that crap? Thus, it's settled, they're getting salted. Magic Reflect, Physical Reflect, and Destroy Weapons all were attached to the shells. So, for starters, I throw rocks at them to make them retract their heads. The only skill those heads had was biting. Wait, snails can bite? Do they even have teeth to do that? Well, not like I'm going to check that, since touching them means I'd come under the effects of dissolve. After I hit them, forcing them to retreat into the shells, I then stuff them with salt. Just how many tons of salt was Villager A carrying around? Such a mystery. Actually, just who the hell is Villager A-san? This is the real mystery. And we are done. That was easy. Attack the head, make it retreat, stuff the shell with salt, repeat. After the salt dries them up, all I have to do is roast them. Everything aside from the shell was weak. In the end, they're just lowly land snails. If I just attack what's inside the shell, they are nothing special. Salted escargot. I should force the geeks to eat this. Let's hurry to the 62nd floor. The next Skeleton Knight, level 62, everyone fell. Heads were rolling all over the floor. The skeletons that managed to keep their heads after the fall, due to some strange kind of luck, were immediately decapitated by Armored Prez. She has no mercy for her former colleagues at all. I wonder, are things getting easier as we go higher? The levels are going down, so that should be the case, but I never fought head-on on the lowest floors since I didn't have any chance of winning, so I can't make a comparison. After gathering the magic stones, we head to the 61st floor. Iron Golem, level 61. Oh, long time no see, it's golems. We haven't met since the anti-magic golems. Coincidentally, I received a complaint from the former supervisor of this dungeon regarding the fact that dropping huge lumps of iron from the 61st floor might really lead to a collapse this time. Since they are not anti-magic, I guess they specialize in physical defense? Physical resistance, slashing resistance, extraordinary strength. Only 3 skills? They have over 600 vitality and power, but only a few skills. Since they don't have crushing damage resistance, I really want to drop them. But since they don't even have magic resistance, I might be able to deal with them through conventional means. After climbing to the 61st floor, I create holes on the ground. The iron golems naturally are trying to find their way around them. As expected, with that colossal size and weight, they cannot possibly jump over them. Slowly, they are trying to make their way over here. But they weren't that fast to begin with, and now, unable to move in a straight line, they're stuck. With the effects of Elder Trent Kane, magic power 50% up, elemental affinity increase greater, magic control increase, my offensive power should be boosted. On top of that, after gaining 5 levels, my intelligence reached 340, almost 50% compared to my level 12. I can do it. This time, a real inferno. Freezing them through the rapid drop in temperature, I then immediately cover them up in scorching flames. As a bonus, I also drop lava projectiles from the ceiling, walking on it upside down through the power of sticky boots. This looks pretty cool. I'm sure Inferno-san would have no complaints. This might even get an Inferno seal of approval. Meteors are also looking good, though I'm kind of just throwing stones using my hands. But what I'm actually trying to accomplish here is simple metal fatigue. I'm just wearing the metal down with extreme temperatures and then finishing them off by throwing boulders. But no one would realize that without modern knowledge, right? It must look like amazing, great sorcery, probably appearance-wise. But that's the only thing that matters, appearance. Armored Prez is gazing at the spectacle as her silver armor shining with red from the light of the roaring flames. This might improve her impression a bit, or rather, she might be shocked, since this is the first time I properly used magic in a battle. Iron golems crumpled, falling to pieces, leaving magic stones behind. No iron ore drops were spotted. Well, we got a good pace. The next floor is the 60th floor, which means Floor Master. Yep, looks like they're now on every 10th floor. As expected, a boss every 5 floors is a bit too much. And each of them was level 100? This dungeon is just ridiculous. If everyone knew what they were getting into, no one would come to challenge this place. I mean, this is undoubtedly impossible. The ceiling is high, matching the size of the boss, standing at the height of about 2,000 centimeters. Anti-gravic Gigantes level 60. Gigantes? But there is only one enemy. Isn't Gigantes plural? Is it another case of those fancy names? It is fine to complain to your parents about that, you know. That's just embarrassing. Well, it is claiming to be a Gigantes, but it is actually Gigas. In other words, a giant. A gigantic-sized version of a human. With power 814, it appears pretty strong and muscular, but his Achilles tendon is located at such a perfect height. I'm also free to hit it in the shins as much as I want. Oh no, if you fall on your knees, you'll be exposed to the worst attack a human male can imagine, which I guess works the same in giants. I'm going to throw a boulder there. Here you go. After that, the giant raised such a shriek that it threatened to shatter the ceiling. Then he fell flat to the ground and was decapitated by armored Prez. Even if you are a giant, you are still just a big human, and humans shouldn't walk around unprotected. Humans are fragile. Even if you have magic immunity, you still have to equip yourself properly. I mean, pelts is your only protection? Are you kidding me? And being that big makes your weak spots that much easier to attack. Or rather, you shouldn't even be in such a small dungeon with its flat terrain. This place isn't well suited for you. Rest in peace. Flat gaze. The first time in a while. Yes, I was feeling unsatisfied due to the lack of this look from Armored Prez. Well, I kind of expected this reaction. That agonized howl was something no human male would ever want to hear. I don't even want to remember it. And Armored Prez saw the anguished face of the anti-magic Gigantes on its head. I'll search for an item with absolute crotch protection enchantment when we reach the town. Sadly, anti-magic Gigantes didn't drop absolute crotch protection item, instead leaving behind only Garb of Herculean Strength, power 50% up adamantite fists, an item for fist fighting. Armored Prez is shaking her head with all of her might. She is definitely choosing items based on appearance. She doesn't want it because the outfit is made of a huge animal hide and some fur. Since it has power 50% up, let's fuse it with plain clothes. As for adamantite fists, well, I have no plan in getting into fist fights. I'd rather stick to one-sidedly beating my opponents. I got the magic stone as well, so it's time for the 59th floor. Finally, the 50s. The president and the others should probably be somewhere around these floors. I hope that the boss of the 50th floor is not too dangerous. Well, the president and the others are strong. A bunch of people with cheat skills should be a formidable force. I also feel like the monsters are getting a lot weaker compared to the lower floors, so they should be okay. But even if the monsters got a lot weaker, I still can't fight on these floors. But for some reason, I have this feeling that they will be angry when we meet. I'll probably get scolded on the spot. Why do I sense that my affection rating became even lower, even though I went through the dungeon to improve it? Is it another fearsome trap of this dungeon? The ex-supervisor of the dungeon is looking at me with flat gaze after all.